Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Halluf, and this one is under the command of Oksydor of OLIMP. And on the opposite team in this game, we've got Oksydor of Enjoy in the GWE100. Game on! Well, this is the Arty that was actually supposed to be making the IS-7 18cm main howitzer, capable of doing 800 alpha, 45mm pen, and a 9.5 meter burst radius with a 10 or 12 seconds to 29 second reload, or sorry, stun duration. Okay, he's loaded, ready to go. 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. Now he's anticipating that somebody might poke around the corner and have a quick look. Standard reload for this Arty is 30.68 seconds, but we can see that Oksydor's got a reload 25.59. Now we have already done this replay from the opposite point of view, so if you want to see that one, it's on the channel. In fact, we've just spotted an AMX-50B. Okay, he's lined up on the corner. Can't get a shot out, a clean shot at the moment. He's waiting for somebody to turn up. Oh, now that 113BO, Beijing Opera, rounds out. Oh, he got the kill! First kill of the game goes to Oksydor. It was already badly damaged. He must have gone past the gap between the rocks and taken a huge amount of damage. When he came up to the corner, thinking that he would get an easy shot, unfortunately the shell was already inbound and took him out with splash. Okay, he's reloaded. It's a Kampfpanzer 7 PE or a Jaeger. Well, the Jaeger's got higher armor, or bigger armor, and he takes the direct hit for 178 from the first shot. Hits the target, that is. And oh, the Jagdpanzer just took a massive hit, a huge hit from one of our teammates, and he's now down to 907 hit points, so he's not happy. He's pulling back. We're just waiting for our next shell to go through. Again, it's another HE1, and the Kampfpanzer 7, well, he keeps looking at that corner, but it's so close to the corner that more than likely the shell would actually hit the corner rather than hit the target. So I think he's holding back, waiting for a clear shot. Fires the round out. Hits the rock. Yeah. I think that was the reason why he was waiting. He wanted to have a clean shot. Unfortunately, couldn't get one because the Kampfpanzer kept moving backwards and forwards, and it was very difficult to tell when he was in the line or not. There was no other clear shots that he could have taken, really. The Jaeger was just a little too far back for us to get a clean shot. If he'd gone to the back of the rock, then he might have been. You can see the difference now. You can just about make out the shot on the Jagdpanzer, but it's very, very narrow. And he pulls back into cover, and now we've got a shot on the AMX-50B right next door to the wreck. He's using the wreck for cover, and he takes a tiny bit of splash for 65. Now, we do know during this game that Oksydor was firing his howitzer every moment he could at our teammates. Yes, he was blasting the rounds out. That's one of his shots there coming in. They were coming out as fast as they possibly could, but Oksydor was having difficulty trying to line up a clean shot. I think he might have one there on the Jagdpanzer E100. It's possible. We can't see him at the moment, but I think he's actually sitting behind that T110E3. There. Oh, he's actually moved even further along than I thought. And yes, that's a direct hit. You hear the sizzle. That's a round hitting the target right against the skin of the vehicle. And in fact, you can see the round landed right on the front quarter of the vehicle. There's a big yellow mark there. That's where the shell exploded. But his team actually has 2 Jagdpanzer E100, and the other one just got wiped out as well. Well, that one exploded against the rock behind the Jagdpanzer, but didn't get anything else. We're one up on the enemy at the moment. And there's that E50 that we saw earlier in the game. Now, he's come back into this little corner of the area and left the North Pass absolutely open. There's nobody up that side. And you can see now why our team is actually moving around that corner. Yep, that was a critical hit on the Jagdpanzer. But I think our team are now starting to realise they definitely have a shot. And Oksydor is trying to get a clean shot, but again, there's nothing that he can work with. If he fires at that E3, the shell will more likely hit the wall of the castle grounds. He got a hit there. Not bad, 228. Yes, if he fired earlier, you see, he might actually hit the walls there, and that will block the shot. In the meantime, our teammates are now pushing back against that Kampfpanzer 7 PE. And the E100s come up to try and stop these guys from cutting off and going around the corner. Lines up the shot. Yep, that's a good clean hit. 297. Didn't get the sizzle, but obviously it was a direct hit. There is a little bit of a battle going on down in the south of the map, but really it's everything that's going on up here is where the critical part of the game is going. And again, we can see Oksydor's not having much luck. He's certainly not getting the shots that he would like to get on the enemy. And I think he might need to actually pull even further back, or at least aim for the gap there between the two rocks, between the passes. That might be the best way to get someone. No, he's changed. For a second, I thought he'd changed his angle. He is looking between that gap now. Leopard comes into sight. Got some splash. And now there's an AMX-50B trying to make its way across the bottom of the valley, but he's been spotted and now he's taking fire. We can see him. I think we might actually be able to get a shot on him. He's a one shot. If we do hit him, he will likely go out the game, but he's just got too close to the rock now. Oh, the round went in, but the kill shot actually went to our AMX-50. And now we can see that our team has actually been wiped out in the corner, in the northwest corner. And it looks to me like Oksydor may have decided now's the time to pull back. Yes, we just lost another player. Our M5Y died, and the Leopard's on his way up. Yeah, and he got a direct hit. The AMX-50B was being told to pull back. We've got our Death Star guarding that area on the edge. He's guarding the cap area. The AMX-50B is actually headed towards the south. And I think they're anticipating that the entire group of enemy tanks might come down from the northwest corner of the map and head straight for our cap. In actual fact, I don't think that's actually happening, because it looks to me like the Kampfpanzer 7 PE is actually headed back to his own cap. Yes, to try and stop Oksydor from being hit. There's the Kampfpanzer getting hit struck to try and stop him, and there's Oksydor getting killed by the Progetto 65. We didn't get to see that at that moment. Unfortunately, we couldn't show the that view because we couldn't use the free cam to actually look. But we can see now the Leopard is headed towards our Progetto. And he takes a hit. 379, that was a good shot. The Progetto's gone, but he did get a hit on that Leopard, and now it's 4 versus 3. Now the AMX-50B's moving up. The Death Star's moving up. The E4, I think he might be looking for that Jagdpanzer E100. And he's been found up near the northwest corner. With no clean shot at the moment. The walls are again in the way. Yes, Oksydor hasn't had much luck this game on those walls because they've been blocking his shots. Okay, I think the Jagdpanzer has now found the MX-50, and we're looking towards this gap here because we're anticipating one of the other enemy tanks to come into sight. Either the Kampfpanzer 7 or the Leopard 1. They can't see anyone. So he pulls back behind the rock, which is safe move to make just in case somebody's crossed the valley. And the Kampfpanzer gets wiped out by the Death Star. He got nuked by that 183mm gun. And so he's out the game. And now it's 4 versus 1. And the last remaining enemy tank is the Leopard. Okay, he's been spotted. He's on the run. Oksydor can see that he's just got tracked. He's fixed his track. Rounds out. Direct hit. 387 hit points. And the T110E4 is lining him up for a shot. Long reload. And he wipes him out with the next round. And that is the end of the game. Well, towards the end of that game, Oksydor was using the extra strength HE with no stun to try and nail the enemy tanks. That's why he got such high damage on those shots. Very accurate shooting, and of course, the chance of actually picking up a lot of damage really did help. He actually had 5 rounds left at the end of the game, so he still had plenty to spare. You don't get many rounds with this Arty, only 20 in total. So to have 5 left means you only fired 15 in the entire game anyway. He got a second-class tanker out of that one, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7. And he got a Confederate as well, because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And he only got 1 kill in that game as well, but it was the first kill in the game. His win rate was 2,669, which is Unicum standard. And, well, that's very good if you consider the fact that he didn't really have much of a shot at any time during that entire game, because those walls kept blocking the shells from hitting the enemy. It was only when they popped out into open areas that he could finally get a shell in to get direct hits. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the highest damage in the game turned out to be the Death Star on his own team, with FB215B183 getting 5,064 hit points. Second highest damage went to the enemy AMX-50B with 4,940. And there's the third place player. That was Oksydor on the enemy team. The only player to get a medal over on that side. He got a Gauss medal and 4,101 hit points of damage. When it came to Oksydor, in that game, he only got 2,790 hit points of damage. But of course, he did get that Confederate. The M5Y got a Confederate as well. And the T110E4 got a steel wall. When it came to kills, well, only 1 kill for Oksydor. And on the enemy team, they had a Kampfpanzer 7 PE, managed to get 4 kills. The Progetto 65 on our team is the one that killed Oksydor. He got 4 kills, and 3 kills went to the AMX-50B. And Oksydor, well, he only got 1 kill in the entire game, but he did get a nice amount of damage, more damage actually than Oksydor did. And when it came to base XP, it's actually 848 for Oksydor, about mid-table. The high scorer was the Progetto 65 that killed Oksydor, followed by the MX-50B with 962 and the M5Y with 929. On the enemy team, we can see Oksydor got 514 base experience points, and the high score on their team was that Kampfpanzer 7 PE. He fired 15 rounds in the game. I did mention that earlier. 8 direct hits on the enemy. So when he did get a shot off, it was accurate. In fact, he even had an accurate hit at the end of the game as well. The one on the Leopard. He also got 14 splashes on the enemy. 2,790 hit points of damage. All of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 7 of the enemy. Kill 1. Of course, that was the 113 Beijing Opera. 3,003 hit points of stun assist of 12 stuns. Now, on a premium account, he actually earned 53,985 credits from the game, and he also picked up 5 bonds and 1,272 experience points. And of course, he did get a hit on the last enemy before he got wiped out by the T110E4. But it was quite an interesting game if you think about it, because I've got the figures here showing Oksydor's results: second class bruiser, Confederate, and then 2669 on the win 8. But here's the results for Oksydor. You can see on the defeat, he also got a second class bruiser and another medal, although he got an epic medal rather than the battle hero medal, and he got slightly more on win 8. And I think that was actually because the ground favored Oksydor, so that he could get direct hits virtually every shot he was pumping out. And he kept pumping the shots out very, very quickly, so that he had a chance of actually taking out several enemy tanks all at once at the same time. And because he kept pumping those shells out, he was doing more actual damage in the process. And that was the advantage that Oksydor had over Oksydor in this one. But it was still an interesting game because, of course, the Object 261 does fire faster than the GWE-100 does. And of course, it was Oksydor's chance to maximize the damage that he could do. But of course, he was slowed a bit down by the reload time. But poor old Oksydor was having difficulty just trying to find a target that he could strike. And so he was handicapped in one way. Oksydor could maximize his damage, but unfortunately his teammates weren't very good. And that's why Oksydor got great results, but in the end he got wiped out because his teammates let him down in the end. He was doing his job as hard as he could, which is why, of course, he got the Gauze medal, but his teammates just couldn't match his performance in the end. And so it was good for Oksydor that he had really good teammates at the end to help him win the game. But it did look dicey for a moment, because it did look like the enemy team were going to make a run towards Oksydor's cap, but they didn't come. They decided not to do it. They knew that there was a Death Star somewhere, and in fact that Death Star was waiting for them, but instead of actually running towards the cap in that Leopard, he turned around and ran away, and Oksydor managed to get a round right up his rear when he did. But unfortunately, he let the team down. I think if he'd continued into Oksydor's cap area, he would have stood a chance of maybe getting at Oksydor, or at least having a brief go at the Death Star, and that might have saved his teammates, and they might have been able to do something to turn the battle around. But it was too late by that time for Oksydor, because he was a goner. So there you go, an interesting battle. We don't get that many games where we're fighting one against one, but apparently Oksydor's told me that apparently he does do count-ins with Oksydor. Occasionally they'll count in at the same moment and hope to get the same battle, and then it's one-on-one as to who's the best player. But you won't always get the same teams, you won't always get really good players to support you, but then it's just to see how well an Arty player can actually support his team and how well the other one gets as well in the game. I think it was a really good idea to do this. In fact, I would support other players, going into battle at the same time if they can on a countdown, and possibly with the same Arty. If you both go in using the same Arty, good chance that you might get allotted the same battle at the same time, because the matchmaker does like to match the same Arty quite often, as you'll see that in tier 10 games where you get the same Arty on both sides. And maybe even the backup Arty, if there is two Artys, will be the same one as well. So it can happen. But if you do decide to go ahead and do that and do count-ins, yes, you could potentially end up all in the same battle at the same time. And then it would be a case of who wins and who gets it, who has bragging rights. But that was a really good game. So thanks very much to Oksydor and to Oksydor for sending in these replays, because we very much enjoyed watching them from both sides. If you enjoyed that replay and the previous one, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.